Welcome to Pound for Pound ATL, arguably the best place to get facts and opinions on your Atlanta Falcons. And absolutely the best place to get your opinions in. The conversation starts now.
What's going on, football fans? It's me, J.R. Clark, back again with another Pound for Pound ATL Live, joined as always by my main man, Toby D. What's going on, Toby? We're going to do something. I'm not 100% sure exactly what we're going to do, but as Toby is alluding to, we are going to be joined by probably a lot of y'all's favorite content creators. At least they're some of our favorite content creators. So, without further ado, let's see how this is going to end up going. All right, what is going on, gentlemen? How are y'all doing today? We are going, everybody can just say hello.
Going on, boys?
Yes, sir.
What in the world, Bo?
All right, one thing I had to check to make sure we wasn't doing a whole bunch of dubbing, which we're not, thankfully enough. All right, so I'm going to go from the top on all the way around. We are started out with, joined by John Yates of Out of Your Falcon Mind. John, what's going on, brother?
Yes, sir. What's going on, man? Thanks for having me,
Next
dude.
to him, we got Terry from Twisted Torch TV. What's up, Terry? You doing all right, brother?
Yes, I'm doing great, man. Appreciate Pound for Pound for letting me join the stream. Shouts out to everybody that's in here. Great Falcons content creators, man.
And next to him, I don't know, Kenny, I don't know if you necessarily have a stable full-time home, but if any of you follow Grits Blitz on Twitter, we are joined by the great Kenny G, who contributes at a lot of different places. What's going on, Kenny?
Not much, man. Excited for football. Neptune scouting, baby.
Go.
Find me over there.
That's it. Good deal, good deal. Now, next to me down here is our good buddy Ronnie. A lot of y'all know him as Fleek on Twitter, and he's also with the ATB crew. What's going on, Ronnie?
What's going on, JR? Appreciate y'all for having me on.
Yeah, it should be a good time. If y'all are okay, for most folks, y'all are going to have to like bear with any form of like technical stuff moving around. We'll see how, like I said, we ain't never tried this before, so we'll see how this is going to go. Now, coming up on the bottom, we got Big Low Country. What's going on, Big Low?
What in the world, Bo? What's going on with your day,
Oh, man, you know, living the dream, just talking about these birds. And next to him, we got another I meant to say Ronnie's with the ATB Around the Block. If y'all have never check those guys out. They do a lot of real good stuff. They have a podcast and they do like more of like written format as well, which is, y'all know I got a tough time speaking at times. So writing is a whole different ball game for me. But joined by another fellow ATB is Savion. And Savion, how you doing, sir?
I'm fantastic, man. ATB and Last Word on Sports. Got to give them the shout out.
There you go. Last Word on Sports. Good deal. Now, I know your fellow ATB guy, Trayshawn, is here as well, or at least he was. I think he might be stepped out, which is the blue screen that you got. So I'm going to go ahead and dip him out there for a second. And all right, gentlemen, we're here. We're a week out from Hate Week. I mean, I couldn't think of any better way to do this than to bring all y'all on. Right. And like we get in all the time on those space chats on Twitter, which I highly recommend. If y'all ain't never been in those space chats, like jump in on them because they're a ton of fun. But here we are, Hate Week, and I just want to get some of y'all's opinions. I was trying to bring some of our like fans a different perspective. A perspective that, outside of just mine and Toby's. They've been listening to me and Toby all off season. So I figured, hey, what better way than just go ahead and get some other folks on and give some different perspectives. So I'm going to just start up there at the top with John and Out of Your Falcon Mind. What do you like? We got Hate Week coming up. What has stood out in this off season for you leading up to this week? I know it's kind of a broad question, but I'm just curious, like what has caught your eye with this team so far?
Yeah, it's definitely, a lot of things for sure. I mean, just the entire moving on from Matt's world type of thing, the complete change of the offense, the complete identity change. Actually, maybe we have an identity for the first time, and I don't even know how long. But, you can't I can't not say
Right.
Ritter. I mean, just watching him perform the way he did in those games. I mean, that's what we wanted to see, and we got to see it. So, I mean, all it did was just now create more controversy amongst the fans. But but I mean, that's definitely what's. And you know what? Just like I said, the defense. I mean, dude, when's the last time? I mean, I think you said it too. When's the last time we won games in even the preseason based on our depth?
That's been a nice surprise.
Keep
moving right on down the line. Terry, what has stood out to you, from the training camps to what you've seen in preseason? What has caught your attention?
I would say when I went to training camp, the main thing I noticed is the camaraderie amongst the brothers. They believe in what Arthur Smith is preaching. JR, Toby, y'all saw it, Big Low, all y'all saw, like, they believe they can win. And that's what happens when you have young phenom talent coming in. They want to make sure they can show we can play in the NFL. We can do what it needs to take to win this game.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm happy about that part, man. It's been a while since I've seen us feel confident going into week 1. Maybe 3 years?
Yeah, something right. It's been an interesting time leading up to this first week. Kenny, what stood out to you? I know you tend to have some of the more interesting takes, which is, hey, look, like we chuckle or whatever, but I enjoy different takes than what I have. So I'll be interested to hear what you have to say. Plus, I don't get to talk to you a ton.
Not enough, and I appreciate you calling my takes interesting because they've been called much worse on Twitter. For me, I mean, really, it's the season of change. It's a season of transition. Last year, Terry Fontenot, Arthur Smith came in, and they kind of did what they could do with the pieces in place. And I like to kind of put it like this: we're not renovating the house anymore. We're not going to completely down and building it from the ground up. I'm pretty sure there's like 11 or so players left from the last regime on the roster currently. So this year we have the opportunity to kind of see the vision that Terry and Arthur are putting into place. And that's probably the most exciting part of this season for me.
You know what? I think I completely agree with you. Like, regardless of the outcome of events, whether it's, wins, losses, or whatever, I think you're finally starting to see the vision going forward of what they want this team to be. Now, are they going to be given the time to complete the vision? That's a whole nother ballgame. Ronnie, what's same question applying to you so far?
Really, the thing I'm most interested in seeing this upcoming season is the defense, man. Like the secondary, we signed Casey Hayward to be opposite of AJ Terrell. We're finally giving Richie that safety position that I think he came here to play. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Hawkins proved that he can make plays last year.
Right.
So I'm interested to see that young safety group take a step forward and hopefully propel the entire secondary. And as well as us drafting AK-47, of course, I'm just excited to see the young guys get back there and hopefully bring a fire to the defense that we haven't had in years.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I completely agree there. Let's see. I'm going to try. Looks like Trey might be trying to get back in. Trey, are you on your computer or are you still on your phone? Okay, cool. I'm just trying to make sure I have the same, like, NDI. There you are. Okay. We're gonna get that in. No. Hey, it's all good. Like, I knew this was going to be a different, normally, like, I don't know if I probably annoy Toby, but I try very hard to run what I consider to be a tight ship. And because I feel like, we may not be professionals, but we can all do this with the utmost amount of professionalism that we can do, right? So anyway, all right, so now that I'm back off, I'm going to be on a lot of tangents tonight because this is messing with me. All right, anyway. All right, Big Low, I want to pose my question to you, sir. What has stood out to you in this training camp that has either felt different or, heading into this first week?
You know what, JR, I'm going to be completely honest with you, Bo. I think I tell you, I'll put it to y'all like this right here. I don't know how many of y'all play golf. But, you go play golf after you haven't played for a very long time. You go and you play great. It's like, you like, oh, man. Oh, I need to come here every week. Then you start coming every week. You have all these high expectations of what do you do?
Oh, yeah.
You bomb out. So it's kind of like I'm kind of feeling like this with the Atlanta Falcons. You know, whenever you had Matt Ryan on the team, you went with an expectation to make a playoff run or to win. But now it's like, hey, we kind of up in the air. We don't know what it is.
What's like the unknown is actually kind of intriguing. You know, like with Ryan in tow, you kind of had, whether it was rightful or not, you had the expectation of the playoffs. You know, whether the roster warranted that expectation or not, you kind of had there. Now, like Kenny pointed out earlier, like it's a total demolish. Like there shouldn't be much of any expectation at this moment. But all right, we'll keep moving right on down the line. Savion, I am saying your name right, Emma.
Oh, 100%. I would have told you if you wouldn't.
Okay, good. Look, y'all, most of y'all know that I'm horrible with names, so I just took a stab at it. All right, so same question to you. What has stood out to you in this whole preseason leading up to this first week?
Number one thing that stood out to me is the fact that we're going to be relying on so many young players. Just like you got in time, there's so much that can go wrong. There's so much that can go right. We can go 2-15, or we can go 9-8. We have no idea where this season is going to take us. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of excited for the ride, and that is a horrible place to be as a Falcon.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah, that ride is going to be, whew. All right, Trey, my man, last but definitely not least in a sense. What you got for me? Uh-oh. Can you hear me? We cannot hear you, Trey. Did you mute yourself? There
Sorry. I just wanted you to repeat the question one more time since I came in a little late.
No. Like the deal is like I'm kind of just giving what your overall feeling is. As far as like the team heading in, like what you've seen over preseason, coming into this first week, like what is your overall feeling? And then after this, we're going to start diving into some, deeper stuff.
Yeah, I think overall I'm trying to keep an open mind. And I'm trying to look at success through a couple of different lenses beyond just the wins and losses. So I think we've already seen a little bit of growth from Arthur Smith. One thing that we all talked about a lot was, we saw the starters play in preseason this year, things like that. I'm really more focused on, what is he going to do for us, as a head coach in year 2? What's his growth look like? This is a guy who's a first-time head coach, a younger head coach. If he does this right, he's a guy that could be around for a long time. And that's obviously every head coach's goal, especially every young coach. A lot of those guys only get one shot. So I'm really interested to see his growth as an HC this year. How's he developed? How's he grown? And I'm keeping an open mind. I'm excited.
It seems like, and Toby, you chime in here. It seems like the vast majority of us have a almost cautious optimism. Our levels of what is defining success is, a wide margin, but it seems like for the most part we all have a similar attitude. Are you kind of catching that same vibe, Toby? Yeah, we're gonna have to find that fried crow. There's a good possibility. I'll say this: stepping out of that third preseason game. Somebody says they can't hear Toby. Hold on. Oh, you should be able to. Try again, Toby. Huh.
Sum it up.
Well, as far as I'm catching it on my end, it says that you're there. Make sure you're not muted. You shouldn't be. You're not. No.
Oh, I heard
everybody saying on our end that there is no sound. Oh, hold on. We'll see what we can do here. Made Toby. It may have to. You guys can hear him, but the viewers can't. See, always going to be some interesting stuff. let's see here. I don't have you muted. There's nothing I can do on my end. So, Toby, you might just have to sit there and look pretty tonight. like wave. Oh, that's what it is. It's the beard. No,
you don't. No, you don't, Toby. I cut mine off, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, I don't have. Oh, no. Unmute. Oh, come on. Quit doing it. Hold on. Oh, now everything's going crazy.
You done poked the beast.
I done something. Oh, Lord, hello. All right, let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Toby, you can hear me, right? I'm gonna drop you from the call, and then I'm gonna try to add you back and see if that fixes it. So don't go nowhere. All right. Now let's see here.
Where Toby go?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Where Toby go? Now let's see. Where is? Okay, participants, and let's call Toby. I knew this was going to be a fun one. Somebody said blame Dimitrov. Toby.
I like it.
Got blame for everything else. Shit.
Might as well.
Just add it to the list.
All right, Toby, start talking. See, everybody on the Skype chat can Toby hear? Well, Skype can hear you. Yeah, we'll have to. Okay, somebody says blame Matt Ryan. We can do that too. We can blame Matt Ryan. All right, so now everybody says you're still on mute, so I guess you're just gonna have to hang with us, Toby. So I don't know what's going on. All right, so now that we have kind of our general idea of what's what's going on as far as how we feel about the team going forward, let's talk about this hate week. Let's talk about this upcoming game and see if that is something that we can really strike up a conversation. What has y'all psyched? What has y'all worried? John, what has you worried about this upcoming game?
And it's always, it doesn't seem to matter like whether the Saints or if we are really good or they're really good, or it doesn't matter. I mean, the records really don't matter in this series. It's like every game comes down, it seems like, to a field goal or a possession. I mean, there's here and then, there's a bigger discrepancy in the score, but man, it's the freaking Saints, man. And it's in our building. Like, I don't want to start the season off 0-1 against those guys, but what gives me hope though, I was watching the interview with Mario Davis, and they don't really know what to expect from the offense that we got. I mean, like they know the young guys, they know the issues they're going to have, but it's going to be a little different. It's not Matt sitting back there they can tee off on now. So they know Mariota's got his athleticism he can use, and I mean the offensive line's got to take a step forward, we hope, right? And so,
well, look, hey,
a little bit.
Whether they're doing it to hide him or not, at least for the first 4 or 5 games, we don't have to worry about Jalen Mayfield. So that's got to be a plus, right?
All right.
Terry said.
Don't have to see him on his face, with our quarterback.
Yeah, right. That's always a plus. So. What has you optimistic about this game going forward? Or leading up to this game?
I'm excited to see all the ones together, because when we've seen them in the preseason, they look like they've gelled pretty well. I mean, granted, I wanted to see so much more of London, and it sucks he got hurt when he did and we couldn't see him. But I mean, the fact that he came out today on the depth chart listed, the wide receiver 1, makes me feel better. And dude, Pitts is going to be a problem, dude. He's going to be a problem for everybody. But I mean. And seeing him up close, man, at camp, and seeing him at the game, I mean, like, he's a cheat code, man. Like, you shouldn't be able to be that big and do what he does on the field. It's crazy.
Like, it's the stuff that we said about Julio, right? It's the stuff
Right.
that we said there. All right, I'm gonna start mixing it up a little bit, and we'll go this time to Savion. What has you worried going into the Saints game, and what has you relatively optimistic going into the Saints game?
What has me worried is that defensive front. The defensive front is still the exact same for the Saints, and it's looked years now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whether it's Onyemata, Tuttle, Davenport, or Cameron Jordan, then it's gonna be a dogfight. What gives me hope is the fact that they still have Jameis, and Jameis has not changed.
Right, he given the right opportunity, he's gonna throw you the ball.
And this is something that I will debate a Saints fan with all the time. I don't know what you see this year than from last year, the year before that. He may seem a bit more poised. I don't know. It doesn't look like it to me.
Right.
So that gives me hope that we're still going against the same old Jameis.
Right. Yeah. He's his decision making, like his want to make the big throw all the time is something that gets him to trouble more times than not.
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie, what's got you going? What has you thinking good and thinking bad, my friend?
Well, on the bad side of things, I think just like everybody else, the offensive line really worries me. I got to see Caleb McGarry in this contract year. He got to prove himself to us. I also want to see Wilkinson play, see how he fares in actual game experience. Optimistic though, I'm just optimistic about having a mobile quarterback and how that'll open up Art's offense. And obviously in the preseason, everything is really vanilla. So we didn't see as much and we didn't see a lot, but I think even in the preseason, you could kind of tell that the offense is definitely going to be going in a different direction than we have in the past. I'm optimistic and I'm excited about that. And I think Cordell Patterson, who a lot of people haven't been talking about this offseason, I think he will actually thrive in this offense very, very well. I mean, given what he did last year with Matt Ryan, I just think throwing an offensive weapon like him in the mix with a Mariota, I think he's going to, perform. I don't want to put the same expectations on him, but I think he's going to have a good season.
No, I mean, that's all that's fair. Kenny, I know we ain't got you for much longer, so I definitely want to get your thoughts on this coming up game.
So a reason for optimism I have is that arrogant little weasel Sean Payton is no longer in the building.
That's what's up.
Very happy he's gone. Dennis Allen, he kind of flopped in his first run as a head coach. We'll see how it goes. Pete Carmichael's been the longtime OC there, so I really don't expect too much. But Sean Payton, regardless of how I feel about him, has been one of the better head coaches in the NFL for the last decade plus. So I'm pretty excited that he's out of that building. Reason for pessimism, I mean, Sav kind of alluded to the defensive line. It's given us problems for a long time now, and we have a few question marks on the O-line. So that's a matchup to watch, as he said. But, I mean, they still have Alvin Kamara. Guy's a baller. I don't have much bad to say about him other than the off-the-field stuff.
Yeah,
We're not going to get into that. He's a matchup nightmare for us. I don't think our backers can cover him one-on-one. So that's something we're going to have to watch. Like if him and Rashaan Evans are squared up, you already know what's about to happen.
Yeah, Sean's going to decleat him in a heartbeat. But that's not AK's game. That's not Kamara's game. It's Kamara. Kamara's there to break your ankles and make you miss. He's not trying to square up and run over anybody. So it was something that we were in a space chat earlier with Adam earlier this morning, and somebody had brought up Jameis's lack of checkdowns and really limiting what Kamara brings to the table. And I thought that was an interesting point that I hadn't necessarily considered. The fact that Jameis thrives on his arm as much as he does, thinking that he can make every throw out there. He doesn't necessarily take those checkdowns that Breeze was taking that made Kamara such an absolute weapon. So that's something that they'll have to consider going forward.
Sure. And one more matchup I'm looking forward to, and I don't know where Michael Thomas is going to play for them, but I'm going to get a lot of joy out of watching AJ Terrell put the clamps on him for 4 quarters Sunday.
I completely agree with that. Trey? Trayshawn?
Yeah, so this kind of wrapped up 2-1 for me here. Something I'm nervous, something that makes me excited. I'm really excited to see this new retooled Falcons wide receiving corps versus this new retooled Saints secondary. So, as we all know, the Saints recently lost Johnson. That's going to be interesting to see how that affects how much man that they decide to play this year. Our wide receiving corps, in my mind, I think going against man would actually be an advantage. That's why we got those bigger bodies now. We got some size. So I don't know if the Saints will be able to play man as effectively as they were able to last year. I imagine Dennis Allen still wants to keep that going. I respect the Honey Badger. I'm not sure at this stage in his career he's still the exact same guy that he used to be. I know that's still a respectable signing by them, but Brian Edwards, Drake London, Cardero Hodge, Jared Bernhardt, the list goes on. I'm really interested to see how these guys are going to come out and play at the same time. Those things also make me nervous. Saints defense, that secondary is nice. It's well coached. It's a good unit. Our guys are going to have to win their matchups. They're going to have to win their one-on-ones. So it could either be one of those things where it's a fun welcoming party for the new wide receivers on the team. Some guys make some big catches. We see Marshawn Grabamore get mossed a couple times out there on the outside. So we got to see what Laddie Grabby's going to do against these boys. I know he didn't have fun against Pitts on the opening drive last year. I still remember that play. Matt just missed the throw, but Pitts had that man beat. Right. So I'm excited.
Well, hopefully we don't have too many more missed throws. I know in training camp, deep shots were accuracy was not great, but it actually looked better, in the game. So we'll see if that translates. Lo, I don't think I've gotten to you yet, sir.
Yes, sir. So I'll be completely honest with you on one thing I think we need to keep a lookout for. A lot of people don't realize Jameis Winston had 14 touchdowns and 3 interceptions last year in that new Saints offense. I know that everybody goes with the whole 30 for 30 thing and everything like that, but we have to remember he was playing in a Bruce Arians offense that spawned interceptions. So I'm going to be completely honest with you. I mean, I seen a different Jameis before he got hurt than what we have now. So moving forward, I want to see how our defense stacks up against it. We know we're going to be running a lot of cover threes, so it's going to open up opportunities for him to check down. The question is that something that he's willing to do?
Yeah, that is going to be. Is that something that he takes a step in his game? And if it is, that's something that we may have to be concerned about as in a scouting aspect. Savion, we haven't gotten to you yet, have we?
No, it's first or second or something like that.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, then, other than our mute friend, Mr. Toby, wave at the folks, let them know that you're still here and that you still love them. I don't know what's going on. I wish I could see why. Anyway, we're just going to keep it all moving. All right, so that's the first, 30 minutes, and so that's what I'm going to consider to be our opening salvo. So now, sir.
JR, I ain't go.
Terry. I knew I was skipping somebody. Terry, by all means, go.
I was going to ask Big Lo, you done? Were you done with your point?
Oh, well, I was going to say, as far as the offense, as far as what I see optimistically, I think we got a chance to take some shots on Sunday. Yeah. The same way y'all used to take shots in college. So we've been taking some shots.
Damn, I love Lowe's analogies. Terry, what you got for me, brother?
All right, so I got 2 things. We all know Cameron Jordan. He was a thorn in our behinds as far as with Matt Ryan because Matt Ryan isn't mobile. I didn't see Cameron Jordan get too many sacks versus those mobile QBs per se. So I'm anxious to see how he's gonna react to those play action rollouts. He can't catch Mariota on that rollout. Let's be realistic. Mariota has maybe 6 to 7 seconds if he rolls out to Cameron Jordan's side. Another thing I noticed, Mays. They keep these Saints fans keep talking about Mays, Marcus Mays from the Jets. He tore his Achilles last year, guys. He played 1 game last year. So if I see him lined up, which I see how Arthur Smith is doing it, he's taking advantage of mismatches. This isn't last year anymore. If you can't stop it, I will continue to do it. We saw it versus the Jets. That those first 2 drives, they took advantage of Buddy. I don't know what he was doing. So I expect the same thing this week. Mays, if we motion out, we're coming for you. Just to let you know, that's a good mismatch. I also want to see, like you said, my boy up top, Mr. Gravy Lattimore. I don't know if y'all noticed this. Brian Edwards kind of had a good day versus him when they played New Orleans back in Las Vegas. So I'm anxious to see how that matchup is. Marcus Lattimore, PJ Williams. They're talking about that's his slot corner. If I'm not mistaken, last time PJ Williams was in Atlanta, he got bruised by Calvin Ridley through touchdown.
Yeah, you ain't wrong about that. So hopefully it's something that we can exploit and keep going. What you got, Grits?
Before we stay on Saints talk for a minute, we're about to move off it. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to point out that there have been 106 games played between the Falcons and Saints, and right now the all-time record stands at 54 and 52, us. So we can't let these guys tie up this record this year. I'm saying these games are going to be big. We can't let them catch us.
That is an excellent point, Grits. That is an excellent point. Yeah, we got to stay ahead on this. If nothing else, we at least got that over, right? All right, that is opening salvo, so let's jump into chat. We're going to rapid fire a lot of this stuff unless there's a question that catches our attention because, hey, we've got a lot of people, got a lot of stuff to get through. Our good buddy Nick says, finally, real football, fellas. Exactly. These are games that count. Let's see. Hunter might be trying to join us. Let's see.
Yeah, he's in here.
Okay. There he is.
He's there.
Let's get Hunter in. All right, well, we're going to see how this goes, Hunter. I'm going to hopefully not break anything else. We already can't hear Toby, so we're going to see how this transpires.
And he's frozen.
And he's already frozen?
No,
he's moving.
He's glitching.
All right, let's see. There he is up in the corner. Let's get him over here. We'll put him next to Toby and fill out our Hollywood Square big board going on here. Okay.
Who said that in the chat?
Yeah, that's where I got it from. Somebody said that. I was like, yes, sir, Hollywood Square. I ain't seen that in a minute. All right. Down Fred Butts, our good buddy Fred Butts, tipped us $5, which we very much appreciate. He said, what's going on? He said, we're going 12-5, mark it down. I love Fred because he is always and forever will be optimistic. If you ask Fred, we're winning the Super Bowl every year. And look, I got no problem with it. I personally don't see a 12.
Must be related to Mike.
But that's me. Y'all see anybody agree with Fred? There you go.
I know Mike does. I'll speak for him.
I got you.
Because he called last week on our show. He already said,
"Oh Lord, he's already given us the division."
There you go.
Hey,
he already called it.
Hey, JR.
Sir.
I was wondering if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Since Fred gave Superman chat, can I do the Superman chat call right quick?
Yeah. What you got?
All right. Hey, Fred, we appreciate that, Bo. That's that. Dun, dun, dun. That's a Superman chat. I just want to do it one time.
Hello now, you might be giving me ideas over there now. our deal over here with the super chat is if you throw in like it gets read regardless, right? Like that's the deal is and normally on a normal night, like as soon as it happens, that's when it gets read. But with as much going on tonight, I've kind of waited until the chat portion to read that. But yeah, I wanted to make sure Fred got his chat read. All right, ATL Harris says, here to support the boys. Glad you're here. I think that's Steve Harris, which we appreciate. If y'all don't follow him on Twitter, you should check him out. Bubba Gump says, what up, P for P? What's going on, Bubba? Keeping it moving. We got Joshua Malavy says, what's up, fellas? What is going on, folks? Love Life says, I just know we are going to win this first game. I can feel it. That's the hope, man. Like I think a lot of us are cautiously optimistic. Let's see. We can't hear Toby, which we still can't, unfortunately. Tony Wright says technical difficulties. Yeah. such is life when you're trying to do live streams. Woon Carter, our good buddy Woon, says, "Rise up, Pound for Pound family. Glad to be here tonight for this week 1 of the NFL season. Let's beat the Saints." That's right. That is the hope, and is to beat the Saints. Blizz818 says, "The ATL version of the Avengers." That's right. We're going to rise up and roll out. Let's see. Fall Start Falcon says, "Y'all look like Hollywood squares." Yeah, that's the Fall Start Falcon. That's right. That's right. We're doing. Toby said in the pre-show we were doing our version of the Brady Bunch, but just, all Falcon fans. Let's see. Keeping on moving. King 7 says, "The good fellows, what's going on, P for P? What's up, brother?" Speed Falcon for Life says, "This is a must win. If we lose this game, I'll be devastated because I'm going to the game and I want us to beat the Aints." Dude, man, I agree completely.
Yeah.
I want us. I don't think anybody in here is like, no, let's not beat them. Let's go ahead and give them the first one.
Never.
Jolt Gaming says, "What's up, Pound for Pound? I am here. I'm ready to poop on the Aints. I have a couple of Aints followers at work, and I'm ready to trash talk." Yeah, I would imagine that you are. Let's see. Everybody says can't hear Toby. Keep it on rolling. All right, come down. Blame. Oh, our good buddy Willie Doc. Willie Doc tipped us $5, which we appreciate. He says, "Seeing all of you here, now it's time to form Voltron." He said, "What should we expect from Arthur Smith this first game?" So there's a good question up with what are you expecting from Arthur Smith? I'm kind of opening the floor up and just like whoever wants to jump in. What is your expectations of Arthur Smith this game?
Hey, Willie, that's a Superman chat. I'm sorry, my bad, dog.
Hey, do what you do, bro. That's right. Hey, look, that's why I brought y'all on, because y'all all got them personalities that we like. Well, go ahead, Lo. What's your expectation from Smith?
I think, once Arthur Smith gets finished telling off all of the reporters.
Oh man.
I think he's gonna have a pretty good game plan. They're going to be moving the pocket a lot.
Yeah.
Once we get that run game going, like I said, I'm expecting at least 3 or 4 shots in this game. And I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. Dean Pease, we know that he brings blitzes from all over the place. If that's what he was doing in the preseason, ain't no telling what he's going to be doing.
Yeah, that was an interesting seeing Pease in the preseason. Like if that was vanilla, like that gives me some hope for what we're bringing. Anybody else want to chime in on what they're expecting from Arthur Smith?
Yeah, I think earlier I mentioned like one of the things I was looking for this season was growth, and especially from Arthur Smith. I actually think he feels pretty low pressure in this rivalry right now. Mm-hmm. He's 1-1. He won the first game. So I think he actually has a little bit of confidence going into this. He feels like he's been there. He's taken a hit. He's given a hit. So really looking for consistency, man. I really want to see what his game plan, whatever it is. I know he's got one. I want to see it to be able to last through the life of the whole game. Last year, I felt like we would see a drive of it here, a drive of it there, but it wasn't really all together yet. This year, they really focused on depth. They didn't just, we didn't have the money to go acquire big talent, but they focused on depth, systematic depth that works across the board. They really want to make sure that if guys go down, everything is sound. They don't have to change the game plan entirely. So I really want to be able to see Arthur Smith from start to finish. Let's see that offense. Let's see your game plan, and we'll see if it works out at the end of the day.
Well put, Trey.
That's a great point, Trey. I was going to piggyback on that. One thing we have to see, of course, the way the Eagles came to Atlanta last year, that first game, and I'm not going to say it because I'm not on my channel. Y'all know what I mean in the chat. He has to come out here and show us, the fans, the supporters of the Falcons, that he wants this team to win. I don't need my team coming out stagnant like that. 3 points is unacceptable. So like Big Lo said, I see them taking a lot of shots in this game. The first 25 plays, I think Arthur Smith is a genius when it comes to that. He's good at drawing up game plans. My thing is when the game plan messes up, can you switch it up?
Can you flow? Can you flow within the game? Can you do the Kyle Shanahan, which he's like right now, he's the more popular one about like taking your tendencies and then playing off of your tendencies to mess with what the defense is thinking. Anybody else want to chime in on that one before we move on?
Yeah, if I may, as Terry alluded to, last year this team came out completely flat, unprepared, and more than anything else, they were undisciplined. I believe we had double-digit penalties the season opener last year. He didn't play his starters at all in the preseason last year. And as Trey said, we're looking for growth. Well, he pretty much said without saying that he screwed up last year not playing his starters. So he gave his guys some run this year. I was happy to see that he wasn't too stubborn to stick to his ways that obviously were at fault. So that was good. But I want to see disciplined football. I want to see those first 15 scripted up and get the ball moving. And like Lo said, we're going to see moving pockets. We're going to see our quarterbacks use their mobility to get away from that pass rush. And he's going to run his inside-outside zone looks, and I'm hoping that we can get, a little bit something going on the ground, because if we do, then that play-action game is going to get going. We'll attack the middle of the field.
Even more in that aspect. Yep, I completely agree.
I think that's very key. Yep.
Ronnie, we ain't heard from you in a minute. You got anything you want to add before we move on?
Yeah, actually, like bouncing off of what Terry said and what I believe Trayshawn was saying is like adjustments. Like, I mean, I believe that he's going to come out with a great game plan. And I think the Falcons are probably going to look pretty decent offensively in the first half. But when you get to the second half of the third quarter and when you enter the fourth quarter, what are we looking like? Is the run game working? Are we able to ground and pound? Are we able to, keep the ball? Are we able to win time of possession? Little things like that. I'm looking for the adjustments over the course of the second half, because as Falcon fans, we all know too well that starting hot is one thing, and it's a great thing, but it's not the only thing.
Definitely not.
You got to carry it out.
Definitely not the only thing.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, exactly what you said, Ronnie, and like, if we do have the lead, say in the fourth quarter, I think, and like Trey said, like, you want to see the consistency, you want to see that growth from him this year. But I think was it the Commanders game? We had the lead, and it was like three straight dives, man. Like, and it was, they gave the ball back to the Commanders and lost the game. Like, so we can't see that again. Like, if we have the lead, we have to play to win the damn game and not to just sit back and like play not to win, not to lose. You know what I'm saying? So. Like that, I want to see that for sure. And then, like, the defense, man, I want to see these second-year guys in this system, like Richie Grant, and I want to see these guys taking their step forward, because I think Kenny, we talked about it on the show a few weeks ago, man, when you came on with us. Like, you saw that guy in college and you saw what he could be, and it's like he would be like the perfect guy for P's defense, like as far as that position. So you just want to see him take it, take that next step and just move forward. Sure. So. I mean, because overall defensively, we're in a better spot than we were last year. I mean, just almost every position.
I'm with you there, John. We are definitely on in a better depth wise, better position wise than I think we were definitely at any point in time last year. All right, we got John 8.
Hey, Terry wanted to say something.
Terry, by all means.
Mm-hmm.
No, you go.
Hello. Okay, Jonathan, I'm not gonna lie to you. I got into a heated argument about that very game with the Commanders. With another content creator. They were trying to tell me that, he's trying to test the line now. He wants to see if the line is going to be able to run the ball. First of all, sir.
No.
First of all, we didn't run the ball like that good.
Yeah, I ain't got time for that.
The reason why you had all those points was
right.
passing. So if you're trying to win the game, you pass the ball first and then see if you can run it. And with this game moving forward, I'm looking for us to maybe set up the run with the pass. Because we already know they're top 5 in running, the Saints, run defense. Mm-hmm. Setting up those play action passes, throwing it early, maybe we'll set up some good moving room for running the ball with Tyler, Damian, and
that's the hope. Anybody else got before I move on?
Yeah, just real quick off of what Terry was just saying. This team is super aggressive. Dennis Allen runs a very aggressive attacking 4-3 defense. Yes. So to creep up, like, I think it was Tennessee that I did on my when I did the analysis of it. Man, they were killing them. They had the linebackers up in the freaking A and B gaps on the line of scrimmage. That's how aggressive this team is. If you can start to get them, like that consistently throughout the game, that and having Kyle Pitts and Drake London and freaking CP on over routes can cancel Christmas.
Done. I love it.
Exactly.
Yeah. They'll run to that double mug, creeping up into that A gap. And, sometimes they'll come down.
Yep.
Sometimes they'll fall back, run with those two linebackers. Hey, Toby, do you got something you want to tell us to tell everybody for you? Okay. Hey, everybody. Toby told us to tell y'all that he's over there cooler than the other side of the pillow.
That's right.
And fresher than the Johnson baby. That's what he told us to tell y'all.
All right. John H. tipped us $5, which we appreciate. He said, no question, just wanted to support and hear that Superman chat tag. Y'all have to record that and use it all season. All right, Big Low, you up again, bro.
All right. Dun, dun, dun. That's a Superman chat.
There it is. Our good bud ATL Harris says, shout out to y'all. Love the collab idea. So glad to throw some support at it. For more, what rank does this run game need to be for the offense to be average? Run is so critical to Smith's scheme. So, where y'all think this run game needs to be? Like
top 10.
Top 10? Hunter says top 10. I think it needs to be like a consistent threat. Like, I don't know how you rank that. And the reason why I say it like that is because the numbers do show that you don't have to have an explosive run game to make, play action work, right? But if you have, consistent run game, if you have a run game that you actually have to account for, that can't hurt the play action. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so that's what I'm looking for. I would say anything north of top 12 is kind of where I'm at. Anybody else?
I would say it has to be an efficient run game. We have to limit negative plays like we've had in the past to kind of set us back on drives. If we can be efficient in running the ball, I don't know exactly where we have to rank. Like even top 20 would probably be an improvement for us over the past couple of years. But yeah, if we can have an efficient, bruising, physical run game, we can build off of that. And that's kind of the identity that's how Arthur made his identity in Tennessee. We don't need a Derrick Henry, but we have to be effective.
And I think you're go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. I think that's what you're going to get out of Algier, for sure. Is that like just so. A guy who is willing to make that contact, and you hope by the fourth quarter, like them guys are tired of tackling him, and then you get CP and Williams like busting loose, type deal.
Yeah, I was going to add to Kenny's point about efficiency. In the modern NFL, the run doesn't set up the run anymore. The pass sets up the run. When you go back and you look at Tennessee and you look at the biggest thing that changed and the biggest thing that unlocked Derrick Henry, it was the QB change. Right. And they had a viable threat at the quarterback position. Arthur Smith's quick passing, more play action style passing offense was now able to set up the run game, and that's what made Henry even more effective. So I'm not necessarily looking for any kind of gaudy run offense numbers or anything like that, but it's like Kenny said, it comes down to limiting negative plays. And it comes down to running efficiently, running effectively. This is in the modern NFL, we're not running it, the first 6 plays, 5 out of 6 are run plays, or anything like that anymore. We got to be able to mix in the pass. And I think we saw that on a lot of drives this preseason. We saw runs that were made by the QB once the play broke down. We saw runs coming up right after pass plays in a much more efficient manner than we'd seen previously, just because that's not how we had it going on in the backfield with Matt back there. So I think you really want to look at kind of how those two things play together. And, like Kenny said, I think if this team is sitting, if we were at 18 for run offense this year, that's a pretty big improvement coming off of last year. And I think that's something that we should all probably be, pretty pleased with if that's where we're sitting at the end of the year.
Hunter, you got something you want to add to that?
Yeah, so you guys were talking about Ty Algier, but I think the guy who's actually going to impact our running game the most is going to be Damian Williams. We were just saying that, like, going off what Trey said about the pass kind of opening up the run game, and Williams has always kind of been that guy who's really helped open up the pass game and for running backs. if you go back to his 2019 season, he only had 498 rushing yards, but he had another 30 receptions out of the backfield behind was that Kareem Hunt at the time?
Mm-hmm.
And like that was good. And like I don't know, I just think he's a good option to have and will open up a lot of things for our offense that aren't strictly run. Like we saw a lot more of the pistol formation in the preseason. And I think that's where we see Williams and Cordell Patterson eat as opposed to Algier. And I think those are going to be the guys that really open up the rushing attack and make it efficient and effective, like what we are wanting it to be. Like, I don't think Algier is going to really be that guy personally, but I think the compliments to him are going to be what really set him free to look like that guy.
I think Damon Williams has the ability to have what I'm going to call the Cordell effect on me. Like when we signed Cordell last year, I pretty much just completely was like, okay, kick returner, punt returner, gadget guy, what have you. And he come in and within like two or 3 weeks completely shut me up, and had me completely wrong about it. And I feel like Damon Williams has that chance.
Not even a kick returner anymore.
What's that?
So he's not even the kick returner
right,
anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you mean Avery Williams has fully locked that job down. So, yeah, I think Damon Williams has I haven't necessarily gone on as much of a rant about him as I did last year about CP because, hey, even an old guy learns to keep his mouth shut from time to time and just kind of wait and see the few runs that he has had in the preseason. You know, he's looked like the speed element that we were, missing out of Mike Davis last year. So I'm extremely excited to see how he ends up performing. All right. Ooh, somebody else got their hand up. Ronnie, what you got? Ronnie, no. He's looking at me crazy.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say more to that point. In a run game, I just want to see guys move the power forward, like you guys said, like all positivity, no negative plays, right? Like I feel like a last year back swing routes and then little halfback dives. I feel like there were more negative plays than there were positive, and I feel like all the guys, CP out there, even Damian Williams is bigger than I originally thought. I think those guys have in the run game. So that's all I want to see. I just want to see positivity. Just cut out the negative plays, and I guess that's efficiency, like Kenny had brought up in the first place. So yeah, I don't know what the number would be, but I was thinking somewhere around top 15 to top 12 to kind of type of thing. I think that's how I would reflect out in numbers. But as long as we're making positive gains and like you guys said, able to open up the field for passing, I think that's positive.
10-4. I think Kenny had to go ahead and step on out for the evening. He let us know he was going to do that around 8. So I
just want to, JR, want to thank you for doing this. Thanks for having me on. Everyone viewing this video, click the bell, follow Pound for Pound ATL. They do a great job. And happy Hate Week, fellas. Football's here. I'm excited.
There you go. Appreciate it, Kenny.
Yes, sir.
Take care, brother.
All right, Kenny. Take it easy.
Take it easy, Kenny.
Later, Kenny.
All right, Kenny.
Bye, Kenny.
All right. So let's get back into, and I will say this, like, chat, I appreciate y'all being as cool as y'all been about this. Normally we do a lot more reading of y'all's comments, but as we have a lot more people in here with us, I haven't been able to get into as many comments, so we appreciate y'all, and we're going to get into some more here. I was just saying that, to set the stage, so to speak. All right, let's see here. King7 says, is it me or does Bernhardt give you the kind of Edelman-Welker feel? I think he's going to be a sleeper. He's tough and hungry and had the skills to pay the bills. With his route running, he's going to do well. What is our 30,000 foot view on Bernhardt? Do you think he actually makes an impact this year?
I think he's a special.
First of all, he stole that from me. I called him Wes Welker 2.0 on Twitter and on the channel. So go ahead and give Twisted his credit for a second, brother.
Look, Twisted. He's a scrappy white receiver. You can't just take credit for that, okay? I mean, anytime you get those guys, they're going to get Edelman and Welker and all those Danny Amendola.
Did you see his routes?
Yeah, he looks good. Routes. He looks real good.
He can run them.
He's a playmaker, man. He can run his routes and he finds those open spots in the zone. And
yeah, I mean, with having
there.
that understanding, from playing quarterback, he knows like where to sit down at, or where he would want his receiver to sit down at. Mm-hmm. So playing lacrosse and all that jazz, he's not a slacker as far as athletic IQ goes. So interested to see if he makes a splash this year, but I feel like he's going to make a splash.
Don't count Bernie out.
Don't count him out. That's it. Okay.
I think Bernie's going to make more of an impact as a special teams player than as a receiver this year. Like, kind of be like our Matthew Slater type thing,
right.
Or what we wanted Darby to develop into, of being like a good gunner.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a decent receiving option. I think that'll be what Bernie is.
That stands to reason, and that makes sense to me. Let's see. We're going to keep rolling around. Let's see. I ain't doing the first 5 games. Let's see. All right. Our good buddy Ghost Pepper says, just remind me, did we or did we not beat them in their building? With what I'm talking about the Saints, with what was considered an absolutely horrible Falcons roster. That's all he needs to know. All right, then. Yeah, I got you. We'll see how it goes. They did beat us in our building. So, balance that out. Let's see. Keep it rolling. Alexander Stacy says, hello, guys. I'm certainly a Panthers fan, but I think this season you will kick our behinds, but keep pounding and may the strongest win. I always appreciate when we have respectful fans from other teams pop into our chat. It is
very rare.
And I respect that, So thank you for that comment. Dwayne Wade, not that Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade says the combination of early injuries on the O-line and Winston with a nagging injury will play in our favor. That's something that we actually haven't gotten into. Like, the Saints are without Teron Armstead. He's down in Miami now. And they lost Trevor Penning. So they're on what, like a backup left tackle?
Yep.
I think Penning, he was technically slated as the backup
when
he went down. Yeah, but yeah, I mean they're not sending their best out there.
Well, hopefully we can capitalize on that. Normally, when we have to play somebody's backup, we make them look like a Hall of Famer. So hopefully we can start changing that perception. Let's see.
I'm kind of sad it's going to be out. Like, I just wanted to see D'Angelo versus Trevor Penning, like the Senior Bowl all over again. I was ready for that.
Yeah, D'Angelo Malone, he gave him fits through that whole game. Let's see. Millie Mills, our good buddy Millie Mills says, JR, that diamond formation show y'all did was fire. Thank you very much. He says that alone will confuse them ain'ts. And I think that's, I don't know if that's something that y'all picked up on, the amount of like somebody brought it up earlier, the pistol formation that we were using.
Oh, the pistol.
And then a couple times in that Detroit game and the Jets game, saw them go into a diamond formation. Like, can anyone of y'all want to speak on that?
They were doing play action off of that though,
right,
in those games, right?
Well, see, that's what you ain't seen. That's the aspect you ain't seen. You ain't seen them run out of that formation yet, and you ain't seen the RPO. Good Lord, y'all hear that RPO? Anyway, RPO coming out of that, like with the quarterbacks running out of those yet. So
or with the ones either. We haven't even seen CP in the backfield this whole preseason. I mean, there's a lot that we haven't even seen as fans yet. Like, we haven't even got to see our own guys. We haven't seen Drake London since the Lions game. So we don't know if he's going to be in that power slot role. We don't. There's a lot going on that like you said, it's excited because we haven't even seen to it.
It makes you think, like, who would line up back there though? Like if you put Kyle Pitts in that power slot, like, I mean, who's going to beat him to the flat if they did decide to pass it? Or you know what I'm saying? Or if you turned around and put Fitzpatrick in the power slot. I mean, that you could run power right there. You could hit him in the mouth or ISO. So I mean, it's one of those cases where, I mean, you got a mobile quarterback who could, you could play action, run RPO off of it. Everybody on the line of scrimmage is on the line of scrimmage because you got to have 4 people in the backfield. So I mean, ain't no wasted space.
Right.
When you look at guys,
a lot of motion in that too, Big Low. A lot of motion will go into play with that, and you can run a wheel route out of that. You can put OZ in the backfield if you want to.
Yeah.
That's how good that formation is. Like that's why a lot of high school teams run it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people like discredit it because of, you know, like it is a formation that gets used in the lower levels. But I mean, if you can execute it right, you can catch some people like guessing.
The Chiefs have been using pistol for the last 5 years. It looks like it works.
Yeah,
at the
right.
NFL level to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you got to have the personnel,
Right.
and we do have the personnel. So I mean that's
right.
Now
you
we
got
do.
it
Now,
now.
exactly,
That much is, for sure. Toby, people are wanting you to jump in the chat and type up if you can. I don't know if you can or not. So he said he'll try, folks. He'll say he'll try. So just anyway. Let's see now. Okay, another question I want to bring up before we read any more comments. Did y'all notice on the depth chart today that we did not have 2 starting tight ends listed? Did anybody else pick up on that? I'm not saying it means much of anything.
I did notice that.
I seen that.
I
noticed that Felipe Franks is tight end 3.
Right, but all of last year, you were starting 2 tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
And they have.
We were the tight end team.
Right. And you have. Now, check this part out. See if this ruffles anybody's feathers or gets anybody's antennas up. You actually have fullback listed as a starting position on the depth chart. Like, normally the fullback's buried in the running back line, right? And you have a third wide receiver or what have you.
It's an interesting approach for sure. I'm interested to see what they do with the tight ends. The tight end room, the way it shook out, I think over preseason and the offseason, it did not at all go how I kind of anticipated. I don't know how the rest of you guys feel, but Ferkser being gone, I was like, okay. And then, we lose Fitzpatrick. I think he's either IR'd or practice squatted.
Yeah.
And then Hesse over Michael Pruitt. I thought Michael Pruitt coming in, he had a pretty good showing. I thought he might sneak on the team. So ending up with Pitts, Hesse, and Franks, that's probably the most interesting offensive unit to me right now, honestly, is the tight end group.
Did anybody watch that Georgia game on Saturday and think, man, it would be nice if the Atlanta Falcons
we had 2
use those tight ends kind of like that?
Bowers and Washington.
Bowers and Pitts.
Oh, dude.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I know the South Carolina game, but their tight end was getting carries out of the backfield.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I seen that.
Well, that plays into that positionless player that Arthur Smith loves to use. The versatility and all that jazz. Let's see here. All right. Get back into the chat here for a minute. Let's see, where am I at? William Amy says we need to get takeaways in the red zone on defense and to get the ball back to our offense. That but that brings up an interesting thing. Is takeaways something that y'all think we're going to get a good bit of? Is that something that y'all see manifesting itself?
Are you saying for the season or for
this let's just start for this week. Why not?
I'm looking for Jameis, man. He's either going to be a forced fumble or he's going to throw 1 INT. I don't see him throwing 3 interceptions or us forcing 3 type of turnovers. So I'm going to say 1 to 2 turnovers in this game because Jameis has been prone to do that. And a lot of people are thinking like, well, Jameis did this when that 5-2 record. They didn't throw the ball down the field like that in that 5-2 record. AK kind of looked good doing that 5-2 record. Then they didn't have Michael Thomas. So I'm anxious to see how his chemistry with Michael Thomas, the rookie from Ohio State, to use them on a consistent basis while still incorporating their best player, AK.
Right. Yeah. Anybody want to add anything else to that as far as the turnovers go?
So I think that number 1 with Jameis, I think that's where he's going to. I think that's where the turnovers are going to come from with Jameis. It's the fact that he's going to try to get Olave involved and try to use that ability that he just really didn't have last year over the top with Olave. And it just I've already said my piece on Jameis. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it.
I agree with you. Like, I can't see how anybody can, in my opinion. And I do think it's interesting that you have, Jameis and Mariota, who came in the league together.
1 and 2 back together.
Right, back together in the same league or same division. And now, like, week 1, it's like we're having that same talk again, that same comparison, bringing up, the traits of Mariota versus Winston. But you're talking about like 7 years into their career, right? And so now you have a completely different look at how these guys are. And I'm just not. I don't see how a Saints fan can talk themselves into Winston more than we could talk ourselves into Mariota, if that makes any sense. Oh yeah,
they've done it
for sure.
They have done it.
Oh, man, them Hurricanes, some strong drinks.
That's true. That is true.
And I wondered, like, they were just in the business of getting Deshaun Watson,
right?
Like, so the fact that Jameis stayed and now he's back to starting again. Like, I just feel like there's some chemistry that's not there, and the same way that they're telling us.
Yeah, and
I think
the fact that he was nursing an ankle injury through a good bit of the off season. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that transpires.
As far as the turnovers,
only thing I was going to say about turnovers was that to keep an eye out on Richie Grant making somebody fumble the ball.
Yep.
I know he didn't have, the rookie season we were all hoping for last year, but when Richie was on the field last year, he created 2 forced fumbles. So with more playing time on the field this year, look for a wide receiver coming across the field to maybe fumble the ball. Look for something like that, something that we really haven't seen on this defense for a while. More Charles, a little throwback, Peanut Tillman type DB who can create plays in other ways beyond just interceptions.
There you go. Our good friend B Strong tipped us $2, and he says Desmond Ridder is our future. So, as super chats tend to do, they will shift and push the conversation. So we'll go from talking about Richie Grant taking a leap in year 2 to, all right, who thinks Desmond Ridder is the future?
Well,
you're all being recorded. I just want to remind you.
No, man, like I'll start. I mean, I'll say this: he hasn't done anything to make me think he's not yet. I mean, coming in, you knew he was a more mature type of guy when we drafted him. Kind of expected him to pick up the offense, pretty quickly, and he did. I mean, like I said, we got to remember, I'm just as, I'm just as, what the word is. I'm just as guilty, I guess, of getting kind of bought into the hype because you see how, the performances in the first 3 games. But, you got to remind yourself, it is 2s, it is 3s. How is he going to be against, the Rams defenses and then their number 1s and, and stuff like that. So that's all tempered, and I think it'll work itself out throughout the season, whether or not how much we see him, which goes back to that hilarious question that, Arthur answered at the press conference. But I mean, I'm not going to say he's not. I mean, I just think we need to see obviously more actual regular
draft, like when he was at Cincinnati. So you ask me something like that, I'm gonna say, yeah. But the thing is, from what he's shown us in the preseason against the 2s and 3s, he does look pretty decent. Obviously, we'll see how the season plays out and see if he gets any playing time this year, and we'll see if he can prove to us that he is the future. But for right now, I think what John said was perfect. He hasn't shown us anything to say that he isn't. And I think the best case scenario is for him to be, because we still need more pieces on defense, and there's a guy named Jalen Carter. There's a guy named Will Anderson. Right. There are a few stars that the Falcons could really use outside of just the quarterback position, you know what I mean, to build towards the future. And if you found your guy in round 3, then that gives you – I mean, imagine, right, you get Drake London. Imagine Drake London turns out to be who Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith thinks he'll be. Then you got your third pick, third round pick being your star QB moving forward. That's just a recipe for success. And that's how you go from a rebuild to, okay, we're competing again within 2 to 3 years. Now we are starting to be able to win the division again because you're hitting on your draft picks. And I think that's something that the last regime did not do very well, especially in the second rounds. We all know, like, the Falcons have horrible second round draft pick luck. Maybe Troy Anderson will surprise us and change that next year or later this year. Who knows? There's just so many questions with the young guys, but, like, you got to be prepared to start building for winning, because the leash on NFL coaches, is fair or unfair as it may be, has shrunken, in my opinion. It's shrunken. And so I have these conversations all the time in the spaces and on Twitter. Hey, if the Falcons are 4-13 this year or 5-12, I'm not saying Arthur Smith is gone this offseason, but I think that definitely puts him on like a hotter seat next year. So I don't know, man. I'm just excited.
Now,
I mean, I really feel like with this whole Desmond Ridder situation, and you heard me say this in the spaces, JR, it's like, you know, everybody's kind of trying to rush it. Like, if Desmond Ridder sit for 2 years, I'm not gonna lie to you, I would be completely fine with it.
Right.
It's like one of those situations. I said it in the spaces. It's like taking a hot pocket out of the microwave too fast. It's gonna be cold in the middle. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, ain't no need to force it. Aaron Rodgers sit for an extended period of time. We all know that helped Aaron Rodgers' career.
Right.
Right. So it's like, you know, let's put the pieces around him. And, you know, let the young Thundercat come of age.
Well, yeah, no, I'm like, let's see, 2 seconds. All right, yeah, I agree there, Lo, as far as that goes. I don't think that you have to have an answer this year. I know a lot of fans are going to feel that way, like with guys like, you know, C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young potentially coming out, and whoever else steps up in, you know, in between now and the end of the college season. That's a question that you're going to have to answer if you have a mediocre season and you don't play Ridder, right? Or like, you're going to have to answer, hey, is that the guy of our future? You know, if you're unwilling to play him. And then if you don't take him, you know, it's going to, you know, if you don't take that QB, it's going to be something that you're going to have to talk about. And then on the other side of that, if you do pass up on, you know, a Stroud and a Young to take a, you know, Will Anderson or Carter, you better be pretty sure about what you got, right? John, you threw your hand up. What you got, bro?
Yeah, I think it's going to depend, like, really on how these first 8 games, first half of the season goes. I mean, I think if we're 2-6, 3-5, I think, you know, the pressure's probably going to be on Arthur at that point to throw it in there and see what you got, you know, what I mean, and going into the next season's draft. I mean, flip side, if we're winning, of course
Right.
not. Why would you do that? Why would you throw a wrench in that? So I think, you know, it's just going to depend on the team's performance, how that goes, and how much we're going to see of them. So
I completely agree. Let's see. We're going to go into. Oh, nope.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I was just going to say one thing, and it kind of speaks to everybody's point with Ridder. You know, the original question, is he the guy? Can't say right now, yes or no. I think, you know, we're also talking about Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. Every year there's QBs that pop up that we hadn't heard about that, you know, now they look like they could be in those conversations. You know, if we're in Will Anderson and Carter range, that means we're in Young and Stroud range, which means we didn't win a lot of games. So there's going to be somebody's going to have to answer for something. And, you know, if Ridder plays, if he doesn't work out, I don't think the worst thing in the world at the end of the day is, okay, we took Desmond Ridder in the 3rd round. It turns out he's just a great system backup quarterback for our offense. That's a great scenario to land
100%.
in my opinion. Having a solid QB2, having a guy that you can plug in and run your offense, and at that point is going to be cheap. And if it means we have to take a QB in round 1, then that means, in my book, methodically, Terry and Arthur did everything right. Ridder was the last 3rd-round pick of his draft. He wasn't a reach. He wasn't a guy that they spent too high of a pick on. They took their time. They found a guy that they feel like at the end of the day will at least fit the system. And I do agree with Big Lo's point about not wanting to rush things, but we were in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. If an MVP or former MVP caliber quarterback comes available this offseason, I would
are you
expect
talking about one that
Smart
might have
Jackson.
bird feathers already tattooed across his chest? Is that?
I would expect this team to explore
yeah.
those kinds of options because I do think that, winning is the most important thing to them. And that's, if you're going to go out there and you have the ability to pick up a player like that, that could be something that you want to do. So I think this year, is Ritter the guy? I think that's a week 17
I think that's far
question.
too early to ask that. It'll be interesting to see if he, like, in what capacity does he make it on the field throughout the year. That's going to be some of the
Right.
deal there. All right, let's see here. We done bumped up to about an hour, getting close to an hour and 20. I know we're going to be losing some folks here in about 10 minutes, so I want to go ahead and start in the process of wrapping this up. So we're going to do some real quick chat questions here. Good buddy Tony Wright says our depth chart says Drew Dahlman is starting center for Sunday. Did that shock anybody that Dahlman won the job? Do you think it's actually over?
No.
I think he's got 4 weeks.
No.
Yeah.
I don't.
He's got 4 weeks.
I don't think it is.
And the words of
Y'all can't hear
112.
Toby, but Toby's saying it's over.
Yes.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no.
All right. I know y'all can't hear Toby, but he
Basically, Toby told me to tell y'all. So basically, what Toby was saying, in the words of 112, it's over now. He said, if y'all expect NOvsATL to take over as the starting center, you might as well get that up. Kiss the baby, Bo. It's Drew Dahlman's job.
There you go. Hey,
Anything had him tripping, man.
and the deal is there though, like ATL Hera pointed out, Dahlman played well in the preseason, earned it, and he's more of a Smith guy. He's Smith's pick, and not just Smith's pick.
Yeah.
He's Dwayne Lefford's pick. Like when they went to the O-line coach and said, "Okay, do what you want," he pointed at Drew Dahlman. Right or wrong, he pointed at Drew Dahlman. So if what you have is equal footing from Drew Dahlman and Hennessy, then the coach's guy is the one who's going to win. So as long as he don't go out there looking like, Jalen Mayfield in that aspect, I'm cool with it. I'm just glad that it's named and done, and we can just keep it moving.
It's a really low bar.
I kind of said it somewhere, John.
Yeah, I don't know if I can.
Dude, that guy,
that's what I'm scared of.
Look, okay.
I'm scared of that.
Here's my question for y'all. Was Mayfield on IR because they couldn't just bring themselves to cut him yet?
Yes.
I think so.
Because that's what they should have
Yes.
done. They should have cut him, right?
Probably so.
I've never
Two
seen
players
I've
on
never seen
IR
a
for
left
that
guard
reason right now.
can't literally
Mayfield's not the
punch
only one.
when he
Yeah,
gets out of
right?
the stance.
Right.
The guy's backpedaling every time he got a stance. Get
That's why
out,
his low.
punch.
That's why his low back hurts, man.
That's why his lower back's hurting, y'all.
Oh my God.
I heard somebody. So I heard another content creator say that Jalen Mayfield's problem is he's not letting people come into him, and I was like, "What in the world are you talking about, Bo?"
Like you want to keep people
you
off
need
of
to
you.
you need to keep him off of you. I like, boy, you ain't never played no football.
Lord, I ain't
before. You let people come to
I
you
couldn't
first.
tell anybody. I ain't never played no football, and I know that.
You're gonna be looking like a Apollo.
Oh Lord have mercy.
Oh my
You
God.
gotta absorb the whole.
no
head.
way.
It's like y'all, yeah. Let me just take the whole thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. To Evolve says, folks, just so quick to jump ship, man. Ritter will be fine. I've said it before, and I tend to get laughed at. I can envision a scenario where Mariota holds on to the job for the next 2-3 years. That's just me.
Yeah.
Listen, to that point, I've always been on the road that look, new quarterbacks come in every day, B. New QBs come in every single year, and so when you have, I'm on the Ritter train for one huge reason: the simple fact that we may be able to get Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, or Brian Breesy next draft. That is the main reason why I'm on the Ritter bandwagon right now. Will he work out? I don't know. Honestly, until we have to call on him, I don't care.
Right.
As long as he's good enough to where we can go and get one of these studs on defense, which we have not had in forever, then I'll be all right.
And that's the deal. Like you said, every year a quarterback comes out. I was given a couple years back when Justin Fields was coming out, I was giving Damsky a hard time every time I could. Like, just absolutely like acting like that was it. If you don't draft a quarterback now, you'll never get another chance. And here we are 2 years later talking about C.J. Stroud coming. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be another quarterback next year.
Another Ohio State quarterback.
But you know the good thing about Ritter
is a double-edged sword.
My fault, Terry.
Oh, you good. I was going to say the good thing about Ritter that I think Terry and Arthur Smith he has a winning pedigree. If you watch high school, he won a lot of games. College, he won a lot of games. We don't really know anybody on their offense, respectfully, at Cincinnati. Cincinnati was good because of their defense. Let's just be realistic.
Whoa, the Alec Pierce. Yeah, whoa, wait a minute.
Going forward? Come on, man.
Come on, man. Well, they winning because of offensive defense.
Look here, Alec Pierce, real quick.
He is. But why would they win?
You got a point.
They had
you got a point.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, and I seem to remember.
Yeah, Twisted. I will say there's something about just being a winner. Like when he threw that last touchdown pass to Jared Bernhardt, as fluky as it may have been, the first thing I tweeted out is the guy just wins. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter how you get there. It doesn't matter the ways you get there. Yep. It's just winning. That's all I want.
Do you have that mentality? Do you have that belief in yourself that I'm going to go out here and I'm going to win this ball game? I mean,
he definitely.
You talk about dragging Cincinnati all the way to the daggum college playoffs last year. And a lot of that came in fourth quarter heroics. So
yeah.
Hey, I've got no problem. If unless the offense absolutely looks like complete trash, I've got no problem letting it ride and see what happens. Because to Zamion's point, a new quarterback comes out every year. Another one that you're going to be in love with is going to come out next year. John, you got your hand up, brother.
Oh, no, I think that's from earlier, but I was going to say, no, yeah, it's cool, though. I was going to say, though, yeah, I mean, and like Arthur said I think it was after maybe the Jets, I don't remember what game was after, he said, we're not going to wait on him. That's why it's hard on him, and like in that last game, we were sitting behind the Falcons bench. Dude, he was in his ass, like, most of the, he did come over, fist bump him. I mean, I know some of it was on TV and some of it, but which you couldn't see. I mean, like he came over, sat down next to him. They're going through it. I mean, like but the thing that impressed me is Ritter staring him right in the eye. Right. He's just like, yes, sir. Yep. I got it. I got it. And that's what you want to see. And that's what I think Arthur was saying. He's can take that type of coaching. He likes that type of coaching. So to me, man, that tells a lot too, because there's some guys that's just going to fold in that situation, especially young guys.
We got one at left guard.
There you go. There you go.
We've had a few come through that building, haven't we? We've had a few of those type guys.
That we have.
Let's see.
Peter Cons.
Okay, all right. Then somebody say Peter Cons and then call. Come on.
I was thinking more of. I was thinking more of one big Beasley.
You could at least be like Twisted Torture said respectfully afterwards.
Respectfully.
Like, come on.
Not even. No respect. Disrespectful.
Let's see.
That's another bus, bro. By the way, another bus.
Oh man.
Earlier. Yeah. Peter Cons. Jesus Christ.
Wait, did you say Buzz? Did you say Peter Cons or Marlon Davidson?
Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this, Fleet.
Come on, man. We were doing
Fleet, good. Don't do this, man. We were doing
good, man. I got a question about this. Do you think Marlon Davidson is suffering because he's not running what they did in Auburn? Because he was mostly a 3-4 D end, and when he got here, they moved him to D tackle.
Yeah, of course. No, I
would say so too. Yeah.
Yep, I completely agree because that's like he was running DN with Derek Brown, standing up in a 2-point stance, just a monster of a man, running over, tackles or tight ends or whoever was putting in front of him, and then you bring him here into the NFL. This is why when you start projecting guys at this position or that position, it don't always work out when you start switching them up, And so you brought him in as DQ brought him in as hoping for like an Adrian Claiborne, like inside-outside rusher, and it just never did for him.
Yeah, and
go ahead. Why'd you stop talking?
That was you, Ryan?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, with a guy like that, you get caught in a tough position because I said the same thing. I was in some Falcon spaces and I was talking to Eric Robinson, and I'm like, man, like he hasn't done anything, but the position and the way he thrived at Auburn, he doesn't. We have him in a completely different, role now, and he obviously is thriving in that role. But Eric told to me, he can't rush off the edge in the NFL either. And I said, well, if he can't do what he did in college, and he obviously can't do what you want him to do,
right? He can.
What can he do, and why is he?
I was going to say I don't believe Marlon can do it off the edge either. If you look at a lot of his college film, he had a lot of pass rush success running stunts from the edge,
which is probably what called Q's eye.
He's
exactly
and he some guys just don't operate as well in that tight box. But what he was able to get away with at Auburn. Not everybody he played was NFL size, and he's not NFL size edge. So when you bring him to the league, he had to move inside. He has enough athleticism to the point to where he should be successful in there, but some guys just cannot operate in that tight space as well as a rusher as they could on the edge, or it just feels different, and he just hasn't really seemed to, one, build up enough consistency. He got hit with COVID 3 times. At least twice. So he missed a bunch of time from COVID early in his career. He was never able to get set in Quinn's system. He had to relearn everything with Pease, got hurt in Pease's system. To me, I feel like Marlon's gotten affected more by the injury bug and honestly not being able to build up any of that continuity more than his ability than anything. I think it's just honestly been such a big mental block, and he's had to keep climbing these hills and relearning and retooling himself that, sometimes it's just a lot for a guy to take on.
Well, gentlemen, I think we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this thing up. We have pushed up on about an hour and a half. We appreciate all y'all's time. We appreciate the chat with all y'all's questions. I know we didn't get to nearly a quarter of them, which, feared was going to be the situation, but we do appreciate y'all being in here tonight. We're going to start, I want y'all to start calling out where folks can find y'all. John, you want to give it a start there?
Yeah, man, y'all can follow Mike and I at, you can listen to us out of your Falcon Mind, either Spotify, either Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcast. We do put it on YouTube as well. Zero production value to it on YouTube. It's just us talking. But it's if you prefer it that way, then we're there. We'll eventually get some production part of it. But then we're on Twitter, out of your effing mind, just F and N mind. So yeah, just hit us up anytime. And like I said, we'll actually be recording our Saints preview show tomorrow with a good friend of ours who's actually a Saints fan.
Saints fan?
Are
you okay?
I mean, he's from New Orleans. He moved here. I mean,
give you too hard of a time about it.
He's one of those guys we talked about earlier that you can actually have a civil conversation.
I got in-laws who are all Saints fans, so I get you.
Yeah, so we had him on last season and did our preview show. The dude follows the Saints as closely as you can. So it's gonna be interesting to talk to him and pick his mind about what he's afraid of looking at us and vice versa going into it. So yeah, y'all check us out. We'll have that out probably Thursday. So.
Ask him about Jameis.
All right, man. Appreciate Pound for Pound, man. Toby, JR, y'all were the first Falcon creators I actually saw on YouTube. So appreciate actually doing the show with y'all now. Shouts out to everybody that does Falcons content. We need to have more episodes like this so that we can get other people's breakdowns amongst each other. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, Twisted Torch TV. Trying to get on the road to 1,400. It's Twisted Torch TV on social media as well, Twitter, IG, Facebook. I got a Facebook group, Twisted Torch TV. Website, got your merch, Twisted Torch TV.
There you go.
Check me out, man.
Ronnie?
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. So you can follow me on Twitter at Ron Rico Season, RONRIKOSZN. Better known on Twitter as Fleek, though. You can follow the podcast at Falcons_ATB on Twitter. Same thing that Twisted just said, though. JR, Pound for Pound was the very, very first Falcons content that I started watching on YouTube, and that inspired me to be able to take my love of the Falcons to the screen. And I appreciate y'all having me on here and giving me a chance to talk. And hopefully next time I come on here, we'll be like,
there you go. There it is. That's what I like to hear. And just heads up, you go ahead and give out all your handles. But for the folks watching, their Twitter handles are in the bio or in the description. So like all everybody who was on Their Twitter handles are in the description down below. Big Low.
What in the world, Bo? So first of all, I do need everybody to make sure that you hit the like button on this stream. And if you haven't yet, make sure that you subscribe to Pound for Pound. My name is Big Low Country. I'm just an old country boy, former football coach that love to sit around and talk about sports. Make sure that you come check me out on YouTube, Big Low Country Sports. I'm on, just like JR said, I'm on Twitter at Big Low Country. Yeah, definitely come out and chill. Now, look, I do want to let y'all know something now. So if you watch the show and you see me drinking something out of a mason jar, I want to let y'all know what's in my cup is in my cup. So don't ask no questions.
What's in your cup's your business. Is that what you're trying to
that's
tell?
it. What's in my cup is my cup. It might be water, might be moonshine.
Hey, who knows? That's all right. That's all good. Savion?
You can find me writing at Last Word on Sports. That's lastwordonsports.com. Be writing for ATB Network. And on Twitter, it is Mixon. That's Mixon S_NFL.
Go, Trey.
Yeah, appreciate time being here. If you see me on Twitter, I'm a different man now. I don't even show my face on there. I'm one of those cartoon Abby running. So, I'm a nice guy though. I like to have some fun on there. You'll probably see me doing a little bit more jeering at the team than cheering for the team. But check us out. Me, Ronnie, and Savion, all part of the Falcons ATB Around the Block Network. We're all contributors there. Yeah. We will be releasing a pod at some point. We got to get our schedules right. We're better at going to other people's shows than doing our own shows right now. So we're trying to get that teed up. But just want to thank y'all for letting us be here and letting us speak.
And as always, Falcons fans, y'all can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Grim1128, GRIMM1128. And Toby D is at TobyD1991. Keep your eye on the channel as we try to do out about 2 videos a week. So we'll have something out this weekend. And as always, Falcons fans, rise up.